Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some American Truck Simulator with realistic economy. Now we are back here in Wrangley. We are taking a load of crude oil to Winnemucca, Nevada. Getting paid $2,600 for this load. We had to go down this long dirt road to get to the place to rest so we could get us a load driving during the day. We'll be getting there about 8:45 p.m. Once we get out of this long road here, but we are headed into Nevada, so almost back to California. Hopefully from there we will be able to get us a load into California, somewhere we haven't been. Like I said, we're going to be sticking around Nevada, California, Utah, and Arizona, trying to get those states knocked out. But hopefully the southern part of California and those other states, as I mentioned, is where we're going to be trying to get our loads completed, try to knock those towns out. Then we'll move into Northern California, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, all that stuff up there. Kind of take it in quadrants or sections, however you want to look at it. But we are headed into Nevada with this load of crude oil. Let's go ahead and get back in our cab here. Alright, so we got 559 miles to go. Now, I would like to take better paying loads. The problem with that is most of them are going to places we've already been, and all of the ones that were really good paying out were going back east. So we're trying to go west, as we, plan to go, to California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, that area. So going to Missouri and Texas weren't going to get us there. So, and that was where all the high paying loads were going. Now I am going to try, as long as it is in one of those states that we are working toward, I'm going to try to take the highest paying load we can go in, even if it is to a town that we haven't been to, as long as it's staying in our particular range, because we do want to make more money. We're at 114,000, but we're fixing to lose about 7,000 of that due to our loan installment. But we'll inch back up there. We are still trying to buy another new truck. And this one will be going in our Missouri garage in St. Louis. We're going to leave the truck slot open. Actually, may end up just putting one in. May end up just go ahead and putting one in the Kansas garage, and then when we go to buy a new truck, we'll just relocate ourselves, our person, and we'll just leave this truck in Kansas. That way Kansas will be full, and then we can start working on. So we'll probably, once we buy a new truck, we'll probably relocate to St. Louis and buy our new truck there when we get to level 30. So we'll probably go ahead and fill up the Kansas garage. I don't think we have any trucks we can purchase right now on the used market. We got, I think the cheapest one was around $117,000 right now. So, which is basically a new truck, just a little discount because it had some miles on it. It wasn't a lot of miles, but we're not there right now, so we're just gonna have to wait until we have enough money to buy a new truck. We got a little bit more money coming in there. That's good. So we are still going to be over about 108 to $109,000 after our loan installment comes out here in a minute. But we are going to be going, like I said, to Nevada. Winnemucca, I think, maybe is how you say it. I'm not sure. We're just going to say it that way, and if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. But it is on the western side of Nevada, so we'll be right at California, so we can start working on those states, getting loads. And like I said, I'm going to try to focus on going to new cities, but if I can't find one, we can find a really good paying job that stays in that location and just to a city we've already been to. We're going to probably do that so we can start bringing in a little bit more cash with our loads. We have been lowballing the loads here for a little while, as far as, not taking high paying loads, trying to go to these cities. But now that we're back in the West Coast area, we can start, it's going to take us a while to hit all those cities, and we're going to keep trying to do that. But if we can't find one that's paying good enough, and by good enough, I really don't want to take loads anymore that are less than 2,500, if possible. But there may be some situations where we have to take a cheaper load, and that's what we'll do if that's the case. But we are gonna try and get it to where we're taking better loads. I do want to focus on knocking cities off, but at the same time, we got to start making more money for our company, because as of right now, we have 6 open slots, and we need to get some more trucks in those slots. Well, technically, we only have 4 open slots because I haven't upgraded that garage yet. But anyway, we have the capability of 6 more. So we will probably relocate to Missouri and do all that later. I'll have to look at it to see, but I think we still have an open slot in Kansas. If we don't, then we'll be putting one in Missouri. We will find out at the end of this video. And I don't know if we'll have enough money to buy another vehicle or another truck after we make our delivery. Really just depends on drivers coming in. We're at 109,000 now, so we need another 7,500 ish to be able to purchase a new vehicle when we get there. So it just depends on what our drivers bring in while we're headed to Nevada. Like I said, we're going to be getting there between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Depending on traffic and stuff, roads, and the amount of speed we're able to do. But I do feel really good about the progress we've made recently. Of course, knocking out Missouri, and we've knocked out quite a few cities. We did Texas, we've done Arkansas, we've done Montana, we've done New Mexico. So we are starting to, and then some of the states only have a couple more. Like Colorado, I think, only has a couple more. I think Wyoming only has maybe one more that we haven't gotten. Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma don't have a whole lot, but it's the West Coast where, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California. That's where we're at right now, as far as most of the cities that we haven't discovered. So it will get harder and harder to do those things, and we'll just have to keep looking for loads going to places that we haven't been. But like I said, I really want to start focusing more on money and getting leveled up so we can get a new truck. Not that I'm tired of driving this Volvo, I really like it, but we do need to get us a Peterbilt, because that was requested by one of our viewers to have a Peterbilt truck. So we are going to do that for him. But we gotta get leveled up, so we're gonna try to start taking those higher paying loads, so we can get more trucks on the road, start making more money, get a little bit more XP. But I am still going to be trying to take loads that we can fit into one video. Now, once we unlock most of the cities in all the areas, we might start taking some of those loads that are 15 to 1700 miles, um, and doing those in multiple episodes. But I don't know, I kind of like completing a load in the episode, and if it's short loads, completing two of them is fine. But those long loads are just if they're external contracts, it has to be at a time where I can record both episodes back to back. So it really just time frame and stuff like that just makes a difference on those long loads. Unless it's not an external contract. If it's a freight market contract, then we might be able to do those without having to do them back-to-back recordings on my part. And we will start looking at those. I actually want to look at the freight market more. We've been in external contracts for some time. This is an external contract, but it was the only one I could find going west to a town we haven't been to, going in the right direction we were going to. And it was the first one that I found going west, and it was the highest paying one that was going west at 2600. So like I said, trying to stay within the zone we want to go to. But even though we do want to knock off cities, I'm sure we'll knock off some of those cities just by driving through them, and that's okay. That counts for me. If we had to make a delivery to every single city in the game, it would be even harder, because it would be harder to keep track with, because we're always going to pass through other towns. So going through the city counts for me on the completion part, and it counts in the game too. So it's not just me. The game counts it as when you drive through it as completing for that state. So that's where we're going to work toward. But like I said, we got to get out west, get these states uncovered or discovered, however you want to look at it. Try to get as many cities as we can. Now, I'm sure that we're not going to be able to get every single city just like back to back to back to back. There's probably going to be some that we have to take to places that we have been to. Because like I said, between 500 and 600 miles is our ideal trip for a video, and that's what I'm going to try to stick to. Now, there may be a time where I can say, okay, well, there's two cities that are close together. If I can get one to here and then get a little small load going somewhere, or even if it's a small load like 250, 300 miles, and then we have another load in that same town just to make a little bit extra money and make the video to the length that I prefer them, then we'll do that. But for the most part, I'm going to be trying to take loads that are between 500 and 600 miles from here going forward, just for the money and the XP that we need to get leveled up. Doing the little shorter routes just doesn't pay out as well. And like I said, I do want to get a little bit more progression with our level. We're doing good. We're at 25. We're over halfway, I think, to 25. So close to 26. So we're still 4 levels away. 4.5. You might as well say 4.5 levels away from purchasing another truck. And when we get there, I would like to have at least two or three more trucks on the road, so I want to start getting the higher paying loads done if we can, that fall in that range. But like I said, we're not going to be as intently focused on going to new towns as we are looking at the mileage. Okay, we can bypass this, I'm glad, so I didn't want to stop. We do want to try to knock out those towns, and we will eventually, but we have time. As far as, the game still has quite a few more states to bring out, so we're not at the point to where it's we gotta hurry up. No, we got plenty of time to get all those cities, but we are going to stay on the west coast till we knock most of that out. Now, we may not get every single town, because it is going to depend on what loads we can get. And like I said, I want to keep the short loads to a minimum. But like I said, we may do like if it's going to a town we haven't been to, we may do a 250 300 mile load and then pick up a little short load like within that same town, just to make the video length and earn a little extra cash. But we're not going to be doing a bunch of 100 and 200 mile loads until a new state comes out, when we're trying to complete the new states. Because the new states, when they come out, we will participate in those events and knock those events out as quickly as possible, like we did with Missouri. But it'll be a little while, I'm sure, before another state comes out. Who knows? It could be next week for all I know, but I kind of doubt it. But we're at the point now where we can just kind of hit up some areas we haven't been to and try to knock off some more cities for our completion. I do want to get all that, and then at some point I do want to get all the recruitment agencies and dealerships and stuff that we've missed. And by doing so, what I mean is, like, if there may be a time where I just go to an area where let's say we're going to San Francisco, and there's a town near San Francisco that has things we haven't discovered, but we've already been there. I may just drive there to get those things discovered, and then pick up a load from that town going elsewhere. I'm not sure what we'll be doing with that, but we are going to be trying our best to get as many of those things discovered as well, because that just gives us more drivers we can hire from, more truck dealers we can buy from, and I think it may possibly increase the used truck market as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. Just seems the more deliveries, or not deliveries, is this where I have to go? I'm guessing, yeah. The more dealerships I unlock, it seems like the used truck market gets bigger. So that's just speculation. That is not a fact. Don't take it as fact. That's just an observation of mine. Maybe I know the recruitment agencies. The more recruitment agencies you have, the more drivers you have, a bigger pool of drivers to hire from. I know that is a fact. And we're getting to the point to now where we're going to hopefully every few episodes, every at least 10 episodes buying a truck. I'd like it to be less than that, which is the reason why I want to start taking some of the higher paying loads. But when I say taking the higher paying loads, I mean like not taking loads that are $1,000 or $1,500. We're gonna try to stick to loads that are $2,500 or more, even if it's going to a place we've already been. I want to start making more money, and I don't see how to do that other than I don't know if I went to the right place here. I don't think I did. No. Well, that's okay. We can go up here and turn around, it looks like. Sometimes these interchanges catch me off guard. Just me not paying attention is the main thing. Trying to talk to y'all and not paying attention to the GPS. But we don't have that far to go to turn around, so that's good. It's just like just one exit down the interstate, and we will be able to get turned around and get back going the right way. So we got 330 miles to go. We delayed ourselves getting there by a little bit, but maybe not too much. We're in Salt Lake City, Utah. I need to call my wife real quick, so I'll be muted for a few minutes, but we're going to keep on driving. Alright, I may have to call back. She didn't answer, so we'll just keep going here. We do have 311 miles left. Trying to pay attention to the road here as I was trying to call her. But we are getting on down the road here. So we'll get there sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock. I don't know if we'll make up any time or not. Going 65 miles an hour, it's hard to make up time when the speed limit's 75, so we'll just keep rolling. My wife will probably call me back whenever she can. She's at work, so I don't know if she was just trying to let me know she was going on break or what. She tried to call. So. But anyway, 288 miles. We'll be in Nevada, and hopefully we can find us a place to rest there. That's not too far away from where we're delivering to. And like I said, this should be a decent XP and decent enough money. I mean, I'd love to be making $5,000 to $7,000 per load, but those are going to be really long loads. we can find some in the 5 to 600 mile range that pay out good. And that's what we're going to be looking for. Not going to be trying to pinpoint every single little city like we have been, because I plan on staying on the west coast, the southwest and then northwest all together until the next state comes out. Like, we're going to get these states knocked out. It's just, it may take a little bit more time because I'm not going to be doing these shorter loads very much. Now if it comes down to where we've only got one or two cities left and one of them's 200 miles away and we can get a load going there, then yeah, we'll do that. But as far as, for the most part, now we aren't going to be going into Seattle, Oregon, and Idaho right away. But as far as like, we'll be taking loads to Arizona, Utah, Nevada, California. Those are the four states we're going to be staying in for a while. And, through the course of time, we will unlock those cities. But like I said, I want to have decent loads going. Loads that take a whole video is what I'm looking for. So like I said, between 5 and 600 miles. 650 being probably the limit that we will take. On length of the trip, because I want to be able to do the videos, the loads one per video if we can. Like I said, if it comes down to it and there's a couple of towns that are really close together and we can get a load going to one and possibly get another one going to the other, we might do that, especially when we get down to the okay, and we're gonna have to stop at this one, of course. Let's get and slow down. But that's where we're going to be trying to shoot for, between 500 and 650 miles. That's going to be the loads we're looking for here going forward, with maybe an exception every now and then. But that's what we're looking for, just to make more money. That's what we're looking to do, is be able to make more money, gain more experience. So we're at that point now to where it takes a lot of little bitty loads, even decent sized loads, to level. So we are going to start focusing on the I'm not going to say long trips, but mid level trips. 500 to 650 is going to be our goal now. 450, okay. Anything less than that, I don't think I'll take, unless, like I said, unless it gets down to where, okay, well, we're in Nevada, we only have one more town left, it's 300 miles away. I'll do that just to knock that one off. But for the most part, we're just going to be taking loads to keep us in the area. We'll just say 450 to 650 miles. That's what we're going to look at. That'll be that thing. But now, as we're over here on the West Coast, and keeping in mind that we're going to be in Arizona, Nevada, Utah, California for right now. Those are the four states we are going to be willing to drive to. If there's a specific city you want to see us go there, I will do that. Just let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, and leave those comments. It helps the channel a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything. And you don't have to turn the notification bell on if you don't want to. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, but I would appreciate it if you did those things, because it'll help my channel. I'm not really so much worried on making money off of YouTube, but it'd be nice to keep growing. It means that I'm doing things that people enjoy, and that's why I'm doing this. Maybe me being idiotic, gamer, might bring some joy to you, and that's the whole point, to do something creative with my game playing, and I'm very, very appreciative of all the support that's been given so far. I've reached over 150 subscribers in about a 7-month period, which I was expecting it to take longer than that, so that does give me some encouragement that people are enjoying what I'm doing, and hopefully that will continue. Like I said, on this channel is mostly simulation. There may be some. Uh, I'm not going to be doing any solo survival games, but at some point there may be. I do play Ark with some friends and 7 days with some friends, and I may do some recordings, just like extra recordings. I'm not going to have a full blown series of them, but I may do like when we do if everybody's agreeable to me recording, I may do a boss fight in Ark, or a couple of videos on 7 days with the friends. We're playing 7 Days Rebirth right now, which is a lot of fun. It's a good mod. I've only played just a little bit with them, but their time schedule is a little different than mine. When my recording is going on is when they play, so I'm not going to be playing with them a whole lot. But I do play Ark in the evenings with my friends, and I might try to record a boss fight or two, if everybody that is playing is agreeable to that. I know one of them would be for sure, because he's a YouTuber as well. I've mentioned his name before, Strict9. He also plays American Truck Simulator. So if you haven't, go over to his channel. You can find his channel in my community tab, or whatever the tab is that tells you what I like. What YouTubers I have supported. He is the number one on the list. He is a real life friend, and I helped him with his channel a lot, helping him try to figure things out. Neither one of us knew what we were doing, but with two heads, sometimes things were better than one. Sometimes it wasn't. But he has helped me a drastic amount on learning how to record and things like that. So definitely give him a shout out. Go over, give him a subscribe, like a few of his videos. He has some different games than I do. I think he's playing Critter Cove and the Underground Garage, and he's starting to get into simulation games a little bit. I know he's playing the Supercar Collection simulator game that we've started, and I think Corner Kitchen is another one he has put on his channel. He's spreading his wings a little bit. He has mostly been into car and space games and survival type games and things like that. And he is branching out. And I'd love to put survival. I love playing survival games, but they're just so grindy. And we already have a couple of semi-grindy games on here, which is this one. It's grindy because you have to just drive and drive and drive and drive to level. And then Farming Simulator, we have to grind money to do this and do that. So they're time consuming and long series, and which I enjoy. Don't get me wrong. And then some of the other games are kind of grindy. Like some of the shop keep games and things like that, you have to save money to be able to progress. We gotta stop again. Really? Like, we just stopped. Literally just stopped right back there. Less than 100 miles ago. Come on, people. Why are you doing this to me? Can't y'all just radio down the road and say, oh, let this guy through, we just weighed him, he was good, not doing anything illegal, his truck is at weight limit, he's good. No, they're gonna make me stop. Make me even later. Thank you. Your vehicle's not in perfect. Yeah, I know it's not perfect. It has tire wear and a couple of dents on it because I've hit a few things, but we haven't had a chance to repair it since then. So tire wear is probably the most of that. If we look at our let me get back on the road first before we start looking at the damage and stuff like that. If we look at our damage, it's mostly tire wear, like 2%. Not perfect condition. My truck is 2% damaged. Come on. You get 2% tire wear on 200 miles. Not really. Probably about 2,000 miles. But anyway, we are 115 miles away. 10:30, 11 o'clock is when we're going to get there now. Thanks to our lovely way stations that we keep having to stop But that's okay. It's just going to be a little dark when we get there. Hopefully, I won't make any mistakes. Now, we are going through a town here. I'm not sure what it is, but it does have, looks like a dealership that can be discovered. Oh, we're Elko. Okay, so we've been through here before, but we didn't discover the dealership. So, again, I'd like, we may take a load to Elko since we know that we need to get that dealership there because I'm not going to go out of my way to get them. While we're taking a load, but now that if I can remember that Elko is a town that we can go to that has something we need to discover, we can knock two birds out in one stone. I can go there, get the discovery, and also, just take a load there to make money. So that's kind of things I'm trying to keep track of. I'm gonna forget a lot of them, but maybe I can remember that Elko has a dealership that we haven't discovered, and we can come here with a load and get that dealership discovered. Now I have discovered all the different dealerships. We can buy any truck we want to buy, but I still want to discover them all if I can. But we're gonna do that mainly by taking deliveries to places, and I will start once we start knocking more towns off. I will kind of try to make note of towns that we have been to that we need to go back to discover things, and that'll be how we do that. And when I say us going to towns that we haven't that we've already been to in this, I'm gonna try to stick to towns that have something for us to do when we get there. In other words, like a recruitment agency or a dealership. That way, when we're going to there, it's not just to make a load to make our money, but we're also discovering something in that particular area, and that's just one of those things that I have to try to keep track of, and it's hard, but I am going to do my best to keep track of those things and know what those cities are. Now, am I going to miss some? Absolutely. And am I going to go to towns that we've been to that we don't have anything to do there? Probably. But I'm just saying that we're going to try to do that. If we've already been there, hopefully it will be a place where we can go and at least discover something while we're there. So it's not just, going back to somewhere we've been, but actually going back for a reason. Other than that, there may be some times where we just have to take a load to a place because it's in our mile range and that's the only thing we could get that day. A lot of that is RNG, and I don't have any control over that. So, we just have to take the loads we can get that pay us what we want and have the mileage that we're looking for. Not saying I won't take lesser loads on money if they're still the 450 to 650. I would prefer to take loads that pay at least 2,500. That way, at least we're making a third of our loan installment back on whatever we deliver every day. Which is, I'm hoping that our drivers can make the other 2/3 of that, since we have 14 of them on the road, I believe, or 13. I may be the 14th. We'll find all that out when we get here. We are up to 112,000. Missed those loads coming in. Not even sure when they did, but y'all saw it because y'all have a full view of the screen as I'm having to focus on the road most of the time. But we do have, we're going to be close to being able to buy a truck when we get here. We'll see. I don't want to completely break us. I mean, as far as fuel goes, we're good. We still have, 800 something miles we can go. So we can make another delivery without having to fuel. But I like to fuel up wherever we are if we can. Because who knows, I may get a load that's going 1,000 miles because it's paying 8 to 10 grand, and that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna start looking for. If we can get a load that goes like 1,000 miles, it's gonna be a 2-episode load, but if I can make 7 to 10 grand off of it, it's worth it to me, because that's a whole loan installment plus extra. If it's 10 grand, even if it's just 7,500 or 7,000, that's basically a loan installment. So even though it may take us 2 days to do it, it's a loan installment that it's paying, and that would be basically what we would normally try to make off 2 loads anyway. We're going to be trying our best to make, 2500 to $3,500 off every load we make. That's the goal. Now, granted, that's not always going to work out for us, but that's what we want to try for. It's a goal. It's not a goal that I expect to happen perfectly, but a goal that I'm hoping for. I think this is where we get off up here. Yeah, it looks like it. This is another reason why I hate driving at night. It's hard for me to determine sometimes on the GPS at night, but this does look correct. It's just a little short. Yeah. This is where we're gonna be turning, so we're almost at our destination. Alright, let's have a look both ways here. Looks like we're clear that way, we're clear that way. So we are about to enter. Oh, let's not hit anything. Winnemucca. Hope I'm saying that right. There's a gas station here, but I'm not seeing the rest symbol. So that's kind of unfortunate, but maybe there is one. We just haven't found yet. But so, Winnemucca, Nevada is where we are. We do have at least a gas station, but I'm not seeing a rest area yet. Hopefully we'll be able to find one. We'll look on the map after we make our delivery, because we gotta find us somewhere to rest. So I'm not gonna be taking a load and driving all night. And the problem with not having a place to rest means that I'm gonna have to drive somewhere else to rest. And so hoping to not have to do that. But some places don't have places for truckers to sleep. And that's just reality. So we may just have to get us a load from here and go until we can find a rest stop, which is what it is. Let's go ahead and switch camera views here. And I don't like backing up trucks in the dark. I mean, I'm gonna try always, but there are gonna be times where I just say nope, I can't see. So let's go ahead and try that. That doesn't seem terrible. Can't really see where that spot is right away. Okay, that one's gonna be a little tough, but we're gonna pull in here and try to back down that way if we can. Let's go ahead and get this as straight as we can. There's a long way to back up, but didn't really see a good place to turn around back there, so me yet. Now we can start turning the other way. There we go. Now we can get going in there. Now let's start getting back straight here, hopefully. Get that turned in there just right. Nope. It's gonna count. It's ugly. I'll take it. They let me have it, so. Alright, so a little over halfway now. Let's go ahead and look at our drivers here. Let's see what we got on. So we have 14 counting ourselves. So yeah, we do have one. If we go into Garage Manager and we go to Wichita, we do have one more slot. So we'll go ahead and move. Let's see here. Can we? Let's go to Truck Manager. I wonder if. Alright, we want our Volvo. What's it about right here? And we want to relocate to Missouri. Go to slot and hit OK. And then we want to go to Driver Manager, put ourselves, relocate to Missouri, and our truck. Okay, so that does give us, we're still, okay. So now we are in St. Louis. That gives us 2 more in Wichita to purchase. Are we still in California here? Looks like, or Nevada. Let's look at the map. We should still be here, I hope. We just relocated our home. I need to find somewhere to go rest anyway, so nope, we are in St. Louis. So yeah. Alright, so we were in Winnemucca, so we will have to transport there. I didn't realize that was gonna actually move us. Where's Winnemucca? Alright, so we need to let's go to map. Let's go to map. We're gonna go to Winnemucca. We're gonna teleport there. Alright, so teleport. No. How do I do this? I have to go to quick travel. There we go. Now I can go to Winnemucca. Is that it? Nope. No. Winnemucca. I can't go there. Okay, well, I have not discovered it. No city city has no service. Alright, well, we have been to Elko. We know there's a rest place there. We're going to confirm quick travel. It's going to cost us $3,000. Not ideal, but at least we can go to the truck stop now and discover it, which is basically where we are. Not ideal, but hey, it fixes our problem of not having a place to rest. Now, there isn't a refuel here, but we can rest. So we will refuel. We'll just take a load from Elko. I don't know why this is not showing up as discovered yet, but discovered the dealership. Let's go ahead and back up in here. We'll rest here for the night. Not ideally the way we wanted to do things. I was just trying to relocate the truck. I didn't realize that was going to cause us to have to. Can I rest over here? Okay. Hope I can rest over here. But at least we are still in Nevada. Yeah, looks like, yeah, I can rest here. Alright, so we did discover the dealership. Let's go ahead and rest. See how much money we get in. We may be able to purchase a truck. So, okay, so 117,000. Let's go into our services. We're going to go to used trucks. Looks like, oh, well, we have one for 28 then. No, we're not buying that one. That one has too many miles. Now this one's only got 20,000 miles. It's a day cab. This one is a sleeper. It's 109K, and that wouldn't break us. That would allow us to get another truck. It's only 51,000. That falls within the parameters that I agreed to. We're going to put this in Wichita. Wait a minute. Yeah, Wichita. We're going to put that truck right here. And then we're going to recruit a driver for that. Alright, let's see here what we got. This guy looks good because he has 2 points in long distance already. We'll look at other ones. Alright, he looks really good. Now this guy is actually, I think, better because he has a point long distance, a point in heavy, or fragile, and high value. So I think we're going to go with this guy, even though he'll have to train on. Excuse me. We'll put him in that truck there. He'll have to train a little bit on long distance, but he already has some points into making more money. So let's go ahead and switch him over to high value cargo. I'm sorry, long distance. So he only has to get 2 more points here before he starts picking up his other skills. Let's go ahead and look at our other drivers. 6 hours, 16 hours. We're going to have quite a few in the next day finishing loads. So our money should be fine. Now let's go ahead and look real quick at jobs and freight market. Alright, let's click on Elko. Let's see where we can get a load to and how much time we have to get it there. I'm not going to Idaho. That's too far. Now this one is 2142. Not really ideal. 635 miles. Yeah, none of these jobs are paying good, so we'll just have to check external markets when we come back. Clovis, New Mexico is going way too far. Oregon, well, it's not too far, but that's not where we were wanting to go. Ogden, Utah, we've already been to, and that's only 1,400. So yeah, we'll just have to check external contracts next time. It looks like there are some more happening. See, that would be an ideal trip right there. 10 grand, but that's going way to Corpus Christi, Texas. All those are going to Texas. Some of these would be good, like Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Those are good paying jobs. But most of those long jobs are going to be out of our way. Now this one going to Seattle, 3,700, but that is a little bit further than we want to go in one day. Montana, Missouri, New Mexico, we're done. Yeah, it's just a matter of being able to find those loads. We haven't found anything going the way we want to go in the decent paying. See, we're getting down into the 2,000 ranges here. I mean, that is going to Truckee, California. It is only 389 miles, so that would probably be the one I'd have to take, even though we've been there. Um, because I mean, we're it's 2,000. That's I really don't even want to go down that low. But Portland, Oregon, 621 miles. We could make that trip. Again, not going in the direction that we prefer. Um, but none of this stuff is going where we need it to go. I mean, that Seattle. I mean, it's a long way. I don't see anything going like in the direction we're hoping for in the contracts. So I may just have to. But let's go back to the map real quick. Let's see if there is a. All right. Well, we know we've already rested. We'll get us a load coming out of here, going somewhere next episode. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. I do appreciate y'all being with me today. This is Yurok, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, and also don't forget to leave comments down below. All that stuff for you is free, and it helps me and the channel grow. And I do hope that y'all have a great day and a blessed day. I love you guys. You guys rock. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.